Okay, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. I'm your host, No Love. I just got breaking news. That's the point. Breaking news: Damian Lillard is going back to the Portland Trailblazers on a 3-year, $42 million deal. Per Shams Charania, Damian Lillard, he was released by the Bucks after his Achilles tear. He has decided to sign with the Portland Trailblazers. I did not expect him to sign this quick. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Damian Lillard going back to the Portland Trailblazers is insane, and I'm going to tell you why. He was there from the time he got drafted 2013 to 2023. He's 35 years old now. When he left, he was 32 or 33. He was one of the two. He got traded, obviously, to Milwaukee. He left because they weren't doing anything to help him. He's in Milwaukee for 2 years. And now he's back. This is insanity. And good for Dame. Damian Lillard has been very vocal about his time in Milwaukee. It was tough because he was just out there by himself. He didn't really have his family out there and stuff. I mean, Portland is where, he had his family and where his kids are growing up. So him going back to Portland, it just feels right. I didn't think Portland had the money to sign him personally, or I not even there. Not even that. I just didn't think he'd go back there. The fact that he went back there, that's kind of crazy to me. We will get into some other NFL topics because there's been TJ Watt re-signing. There's a lot today. But this just came across my feed literally right as I'm about to start recording. He's going home, essentially. Portland is his home. Now, how will he fit into the team? He won't be playing this year, obviously, because of the torn Achilles. But next year, he will be playing. He will either, I believe, he'll be 36 years old by the time the season starts. Right now, he's 35. He also has a player option 2027, 2028. But wow, man, I'm stunned. I didn't think he would go back. I knew he loved it there, but with the way that organization kind of did him and not really getting him help when he was in his prime, I just thought he would say, you know what, Portland, I love y'all, but I just can't do this anymore. I was loyal for as long as I can. See you guys. And now he is back in Portland. Wow. This is the most stunning news in a while. This is stunning. I will admit. This did surprise me. Damian Lillard going back. Now, will he be the starting point guard? It depends. Between him and Scoot, maybe. I still think Dame is good enough to be a starting point guard. I mean, even if you look at Damian Lillard stats this year, and Portland's got a good young team as well, but even if you look at his stats this year, I mean, I know he only played 58 games, but 25 points per game, 45% from the field, basically 38% from three, and 7 assists. His numbers have been up and down, obviously, throughout his career, but he stayed the least he's averaged in his career is 19. So he's been in that 19 to 20 point per game range his whole the whole time, his whole career. So this to me just I did not expect him to go. I thought he was going to go to a contender personally, but happy for Dame. He gets to go back. His family, they know it there. The people love him there as well. That first game he goes that first game, whether he's playing or not, I mean, just think about the ovation the people are going to give him, man. Damian Lillard goes back to the Blazers and goes back to Moda Center. That shocked me. Okay, so my lineup is kind of out of order here, so I'm just gonna go some I'm just gonna go here. Let's talk about Joy Taylor right quick. Let's talk about Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor is out as Fox Sports 1 as the network again for the second year of the row in a row is having a shakeup. They axed 3 shows. At Fox Sports 1 is reportedly reshuffling its programming deck and getting rid of several network veteran shows with it. The network is canceling Breakfast Ball, The Facility, and Speak, according to a Monday afternoon report from Andrew Marchand of The Athletic. Joy Taylor, the host of Speak, is reportedly out at the network upon the expiration of her contract. As Marchand noted, Taylor's public image has taken a serious hit amid the allegations she helped foster a hostile work environment at Fox Sports. The 38-year-old sister of Hall of Fame defensive end Jason Taylor had worked at the network since 2016. She started off at Undisputed with Shannon and Skip, just to make that note. Other notable figures involved in the shows Fox canceled include ex-Texas and Philadelphia Eagles linebacker Emmanuel Acho, New York radio veteran Craig Carton, and former Pro Bowl wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson, and Basketball Hall of Fame forward guard Paul Pierce. Speak had been on the air since 2016 in different variations. Remember variations, they have Wiley Whitlock, Wiley and Colin, and they had the current variation. While Breakfast Ball and The Facility both premiered within the last calendar year. Okay, I'm gonna give you the reason why this is happening. That lawsuit that came out with Joy Taylor being named in it, with Emmanuel Acho being named in it, I they wanted to get rid of all that bad publicity. Joy Taylor being gone, she's gone. I believe Acho is gone. I don't know where those two land next. Craig Carton is probably going back to W the Fan. This is just those are the rumors that I'm seeing everywhere, which if he does, good for him, because that's where he needs to be on radio. That's where he started. I believe Keyshawn Johnson and Paul Pierce will end up landing. They'll still be on FS1. They'll still be on FS1 in some capacity. I don't know what the show will be called, but I think they're gonna stay there. Also, the other guy on Breakfast Ball, Danny Parkins. While that show got canceled, he was filling in for Nick Wright this week on First Things First, because First Things First in the Herd. Obviously, you're not canceling Colin. Colin's a G. You're not canceling Colin's show because he's too good at what he does. And First Things First, that's their two best shows. You're not canceling any of those. So I actually like Danny. I actually think his takes are good. We'll see where he ends up. I really hope he stays at Fox Sports 1 because I like him. He's very knowledgeable about whether it's basketball and football. He really pays attention to his game. He has his stats and numbers down. I really like him as, I guess, an analyst. So that's the latest on Fox Sports 1. I saw this coming from a mile away. They had to get Joy out of there, and they had to get Acho out of there. The the rest of them, I I wasn't too sure about. But hopefully, guy like a Shady, a James Jones, a Chase Daniel, they land somewhere, because you never want to see anybody lose their job. Now, I don't know how many are under contract still with FS1, because again, if you're under contract, they can still bring you back. They can cancel the show that you're on, but bring you back in a different capacity, put you on another show. But yeah, all the talent, that just sucks. That just sucks. But that's the latest going on at Fox Sports 1. Now, let's get back to the NFL here, because news, the Pittsburgh Steelers have agreed to terms with TJ Watt on a record 3-year, $123 million extension. TJ Watt's standoff with the Pittsburgh Steelers is over. The four-time All-Pro edge rusher and 2021 Defensive Player of the Year has agreed to a 3-year, $123 million extension with Pittsburgh that makes him the highest paid defender in the league. NFL Network insiders Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero reported on today. At $41 million per year, Watt's deal sneaks past Myles Garrett's record-setting 4-year, $160 million deal agreed upon in March, and resets the edge market for the third time in 2025. Watt also leapfrogs Bengals receiver Jamar Chase's $40.3 million average for the title of the highest paid non-QB. Watt's place in the Steelers organization cannot be understated. He's earned a Pro Bowl nod in each of the last 7 seasons, landed All-Pro honors in 5 of the last 6 campaigns, and is a mainstay in the race for the Defensive Player of the Year, often alongside Garrett, with 108 career sacks, 33 forced fumbles, 462 tackles, 126 for loss, and 7 interceptions. He cemented his standing as an elite defender deserving of a massive extension. This was the main thing that was plaguing the Steelers this offseason. When you trade for DK Metcalf, when you trade for Jalen Ramsey in a blockbuster deal, you sign Aaron Rodgers, you're saying you're all in. So there's no way you can say you're all in and then just trade away TJ Watt. You can't do that. That's not what the Steelers smartly were going to do. So the Pittsburgh Steelers did what they should have done and signed uh, TJ Watt. Myles Garrett got signed by the Browns. But the only team to me that handled the edge situation perfectly is the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders just signed Max Crosby right away. They knew this guy's too important. We're going to sign him. Then Myles Garrett gets signed, and now TJ Watt gets signed. You know a guy who hasn't been signed yet? Micah Parsons. Jerry Jones, why do you wait to pay people? It drives me nuts. Now you're going to have to pay Micah more than if you had just paid him the first time, because he's going to want the TJ Watt money. That's what he's going to want. And quite frankly, if you're asking me, he's deserving of it. He's deserving of it. But you wouldn't have to pay him as much if you just sign the people when you're supposed to. Right after the season, you should have got something done. Now, we haven't heard a lot of complaints about it, but this upcoming year, that will be a thing. Why not just get the deal done when you're supposed to do it now? Why do we have to wait 6, 7, 8 months? You're hurting yourself because you're having to pay your guy more than what you would have had to pay him 8 months earlier. If they had paid Michael Parsons right before the season, not right before the season because season's right away, but right after the end of the season, I don't know what the deal would have been, but it would have set the edge rusher market. And it would have been less than what Garrett's getting paid, and it would have been less than what Max and TJ are getting paid. Now you're gonna have to pay him more. He did it with Dak Prescott. Now he's stuck with Dak Prescott getting $60 million per year. It happened with CD Lamb. Why does Jerry just wait to pay people? If you're I might as well just stop talking about it because he's not going to change. So I might as well. There's no point. But it just infuriates me. Why do you wait? What? I don't get it. He waits every single time, and he ends up paying them anyways. What? If you're gonna pay them anyways, why wait? And it's not like you're paying them less. You're paying them more. I don't understand it. I will never understand it. But good for TJ White guy's deal with the Steelers, Browns, Raiders, and Steelers trying to one up each other with the contract, with the edge rusher contracts. Crazy. Okay, now we go to more of a sadder subject. Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice has been sentenced to 30 days in jail over Dallas high-speed crash. Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice was sentenced to 30 days in jail on Thursday after authorities said he and another driver traveling at higher speeds in sports cars caused a chain reaction crash involving multiple vehicles and causing injuries on a Dallas highway last year. The Dallas County District Attorney's Office says Rice pleaded guilty to two third-degree felony charges of collision involving serious bodily injury and racing on a highway causing bodily injury. The judge will allow Rice to find a time or times to serve the jail sentence. A spokesperson for the district attorney's office said. The prosecutors say he was also required to pay the victims for their out-of-pocket medical expenses, which totaled about $115,000. Rice was driving a Lamborghini Urus SUV at 119 miles per hour when he made multiple aggressive maneuvers around traffic and struck other vehicles, Prosecutors said that after the crash, Rice failed to check on the welfare of those in the other vehicles and fled on foot. Last March, I was involved in a high-speed accident in Dallas, Rice said in a statement released by his attorney. There have been a lot of sleepless nights thinking about the damages that my actions caused, and I will continue working within my means to make sure that everyone impacted will be made whole. I urge everyone to mind the speed limit, drive safe, and drive smart. Last and certainly not least, I am profoundly sorry for the physical damages to person and property. I fully apologize for the harm I caused to innocent drivers and their families. The chief said in a statement on Thursday that they were aware of the reports regarding Rice's sentence and that with it being an ongoing legal matter, we won't have a comment at this time. Rice is subject to a potential suspension under the NFL's personal conduct policy. We have been closely monitoring all developments in the matter, which remains under review, the league said in a statement on Thursday to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. Rice appeared at 4 games last season after suffering a year-ending knee injury in September. This could have been way worse. This could have been way worse. Could have been a Henry Ruggs situation. You know, it could have been way worse. He's only getting 30 days. And the judge is saying, instead of just sentencing him, oh, 30 days right now, that he can pick a time. So probably sometime in the off season, he'll he'll spend it. Also, the league's probably going to suspend him. I say around 4 to 5 games. Hopefully, this is a lesson for him. He will, once he serves the 30 days, he will have his freedom. So he only has to serve a month. He will have his freedom, and hopefully this just goes as a lesson to him and to many future athletes coming up that, bro, don't speed. 109, you should never be going 119 miles per hour. You should never even be going 100 miles per hour, period. So hopefully this is a lesson to him and to everybody. Just stop speeding. Whenever, even if it's late at night, or just stop speeding. Don't 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 do that. Uh, Mind the speed limit, like they said in their statement, and just take it easy, man. You will get there on time. If you leave the house, you will get to where you need to go. You do not need to speed. But Rashid Rice, I'm assuming he's taking accountability for his actions. Good for him. Hopefully, nothing happens to him in jail during those 30 days, and he gets out. He takes whatever. Maybe the suspension comes before. I'm not sure, but if the suspension comes after, takes the suspension, comes back, and just does better. So that's all I have to say on that. Staying in the NFL, the Commanders' Terry McLaurin is frustrated over contract talks, and he is unsure if he will report to training camp. Oh boy. Washington Commanders star receiver isn't sure he'll attend the opening of training camp next week as contract talk to stall. Speaking to local reporters on Tuesday after skipping the entirety of offseason workouts, including mandatory minicamp last month, McLaurin expresses dissatisfaction with the lack of a new deal. I've been pretty frustrated, I'm not going to lie, he said. Everything that has transpired up to this point has been disappointing and frustrating. I want to continue my career here. I've created my life here. My wife and I just bought our first home here. So this has been somewhere I've always wanted to be. Just to see how things have played out has been disappointing. Obviously, I understand everything's a business, but at the same time, I want to put myself in a position where I'm valued and I feel appreciated in things like that. Unfortunately, that hasn't transpired the way I wanted to. I'm just trying to take things day by day. At the beginning of this process, I honestly just wanted for things to work out. I thought that things would be more progressed than they have. So at this point, it's kind of up in the air. McLaurin is slated to enter the final year of a 3-year, $68.2 million contract extension signed in the summer of 2022. That $23.2 million per year places him 17th among wide receivers after the Jets handed $32.5 million per year to Garrett Wilson on Monday. The 29-year-old wide receiver is coming off his fifth consecutive 1,000-yard receiving season in 2024 and earned his second Pro Bowl nod. McLaurin was non-committal when first asked about reporting to training camp. Honestly, I haven't decided that yet. I'm trying to take things day by day, he said. I think that's the disappointing part where I was hoping up into this point things will clear up a lot more than they have. I haven't made that decision yet. I'm just going to see how the rest of the week goes and take it day by day and go from there. Later, McLaurin noted that he hadn't had discussions with the club about an extension in more than a month. In more than a month. Wow. 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 Commanders. These front offices drive me insane. Commanders, y'all need to stop playing and pay that man. Pay Terry McLaurin. He's been in the league 6 years. He's been outside of his first year, where he only had 919. He has had 5 straight years of consecutive 1,000-yard receiving years. There's no way you're going to sit up here and tell me that he can't get paid when he's been 1,000 yards 5 straight years with Alex Smith was his quarterback, Dwayne Haskins was his quarterback, uh, who else? Taylor Heineke was his quarterback. Sam Howell was his quarterback. Now it's Jaden Daniels. I don't even remember who it was before that. It might have still been Sam Howell, but Howell got benched. Brother, it's just like he's been so consistent. And he's been so consistent throughout his fairly young career with so many different quarterbacks and with this team and franchise being in turmoil. And he could have easily just requested a trade and left, but no, he decides to stay. And you're not going to reward him with more money. I mean, with more money right now, he should. I'm gonna be real. He should be making 30 million, at least 30 mil. 23.5 is not enough for what he's been doing and what he's been averaging with the quarterbacks he's been doing it with before Jaden Daniels. You can't sit up here and tell me he's not worthy of at least 30 million. And by the way, he's always durable. He's never really hurt. I don't hear any problems about him in like locker rooms or anything. This is a receiver you want on your team. Pay him. I don't understand with these franchises when you have great receivers, why won't you pay them what they're worth? Bengals did the same thing with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I'm just not understanding why this guy, Terry McLaurin, even last year, him and Jaden Daniels established a great connection. McLaurin arguably had the best year of his career. Maybe not from a statistical standpoint, but obviously from a winning and statistical. It's the most touchdowns he's ever had in his career with 13. He built a very good camaraderie with and connection with Jaden Daniels. You're going to sit up here and you're going to ruin that. Washington, don't do that. You finally have a quarterback and wide receiver connection. You hadn't been able to find a consistent quarterback in over a decade. RG3 got hurt. Alex Smith was balling, then got hurt. They haven't been, and before that, I don't even know what their quarterback situation was. You can't sit up here and tell me he does not deserve to get paid. You just can't do it. I don't understand what the holdup is, truthfully. And they haven't talked contract in a month. McLaurin may have to go out there and just play and then prove that he's worth that money. That's what he may have to go out there and do. He may have to do what Michael Pittman Jr. of the Colts did when they were having talks of a contract, and he says, "You know what? I'm gonna go out there and play." He had over 1,000 yards, and Ballard paid him, and what some other people do. So, because sitting out, that's only gonna hurt Jaden Daniels. You sitting out, but I understand if he wants to sit out. That's not unprecedented. Obviously, it just sucks that Washington, I mean, coming off of their best season in years last year, that this is what they're having to deal with. Pay him. Front office, pay him. That's all you got to do. Switching to the NBA. Bradley Beal has been bought out by the Phoenix Suns, and he has signed with the Los Angeles Clippers on a 2-year deal worth $11 million. Bradley Beal has agreed to a contract buyout with the Phoenix Suns and will become a free agent. Phoenix expected to request waivers on Beal, who then intends to join the LA Clippers on a 2-year, $11 million deal with a player option, per ESPN's Shams Charania. Beal is expected to give back $13.9 million of the $110 million he's owed from the Suns, which allows Phoenix more flexibility as it tries to rebuild its roster. Good for him, because he was robbing them blind. The three-time NBA All-Star joined the Suns ahead of the 2023-24 season after spending his entire career with the Washington Wizards. The Suns finished last season with a record of 36-46, despite the league's most expensive roster that included All-Star trio of Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. It's been a busy summer for the Suns, which also dealt Durant to the Houston Rockets for a package that included Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, and the number 10 overall pick in this year's draft, which the Suns used to select Duke center Kamal Malawach. The 32-year-old Beal would join a veteran Clippers roster that includes Harden, Kawhi Leonard. Beal averaged 17.6 points over two disappointing injury-filled seasons with the Suns. Beal averaged a career-high 31.3 points per game during the 2020-2021 season for the Wizards, but his production has slowly declined since that point, as injuries have taken a toll. He missed at least 29 regular season games with various ailments in each of the past 4 seasons. Okay, Bradley Beal, he'll be decent coming off the bench. I feel like the Clippers, man, they're just very veteran and, dare I say, old. They got John Collins earlier in this all season, but who's young. But they look, Harden's old, Kawhi's old, getting older. Beal is 32. By the way, they signed a backup in Brook Lopez, who's really up there in age. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he goes to the Clippers in a role player role and plays well. Maybe for 2 years, $11 million. But the Suns just could not have him doing what he was doing and not playing well for the contract that he was being given. Also, they couldn't trade him because he wouldn't take the no trade clause, so they just bought him out. The Suns are just trying to start over and rebuild. Oh, okay, our last topic. It goes to college basketball. Memphis receives 2-year probation and fine from NCAA due to academic integrity violations. The University of Memphis was placed on 2 years probation and fine as a result of academic integrity violations involving a counselor, softball players, and a men's basketball player, the NCAA announced Wednesday. The punishments were handed down after the NCAA determined former academic counselor Leslie Brooks paid 2 softball student athletes to complete coursework and provide quiz and test answers to a player on the men's basketball team. One softball player was paid $150 for completing 3 assignments for the men's basketball player. Another was given $400 after giving Brooks the answer to 5 tests and 4 quizzes, and directly given the player answers to 2 additional tests and 1 additional quiz. As a result of those findings, the school was placed on 2 years probation and received a fine of $30,000. The university was also fined 1% of the combined men's basketball and softball budgets. Brooks was hired by the university in 2023. In January and February 2024, Brooks arranged for the two softball players to start providing coursework and tests and quiz answers for the men's basketball player. Brooks wound up paying both students through Apple Pay. The violations were discovered after a member of the softball team reported them to a softball trainer and the team's head coach. Memphis then softball head coach reported the violations, sparking an internal investigation. Brooks admitted to the violation, saying she felt bad for the men's basketball player. She also acknowledged what she did was against NCAA rules. Following the internal investigation, the NCAA enforcement staff got involved. While Brooks answered calls and emails from the enforcement staff, she refused an interview. The NCAA considers Brooks a non-participating party in its investigation. Brooks, who was fired by Memphis in February of 2024, received a 10-year show cause order for her involvement in the scandal. If she is employed by an NCAA member during that period, Brooks cannot participate in any athletic related activities during her show cause period. The school will also vacate all records for the games in which the men's basketball player competed, which he was ineligible. It is believed the student athlete competed in 20 contests while ineligible. Yeah, unfortunate for the Memphis Tigers and their basketball program. They are now on that 2-year probation, and yeah, that's kind of that. I don't know how this will affect their tournament standing, but I assume they'll still be able to compete in the NCAA tournament, but they only get 2 years and some fines, so that's not that big of a deal. All right, so this has been an episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. Thank you for all your support. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and until next time, see ya.